Peace, y'all. Peace to the family, peace and blessings. And bless up to all my winners out there. 'Cause once again, we are winners. We are winners, 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 no matter what. All we do is win, 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 no matter what. I love that statement. It's just a reminder, you know what I'm saying, that we're winners. You know, think of yourself highly. You should think highly of yourself. You really should. Um, so, all right, let's get into it. Once again, we're reading from the Gospel of Hip Hop. This is Hope for Hip Hop Education Project. The Gospel of Hip Hop, the first instrument presented by KRS-One for the Temple of Hip Hop. Once again, we are healing and understanding hip hop and how to apply those principles to our life and lifestyles. If we say we're hip hop, we don't have to be separate of that. You know, as we learned in the last video, that hip hop is a cultural consciousness. It's a collective consciousness, right? It's our artistic form. It's our culture, right? It's our, you know, and the hip hop in the mainstream, that's the products. That's what we know as the product and its mainstream activities when it comes to hip hop. So let's overstand. In the book called The First Overstanding, this is Real Hip Hop. Okay, we're starting on page 58. Once again, we're reading from the Gospel of Hip Hop, the first instrument penned by none other than KRS-One for the Temple of Hip Hop. All right, let's get into it. It says, peace and much love. Know this, like hip hop itself, the gospel of hip hop is to be lived, not just read. It is to be done, not just watched. It is to be expressed, not just studied and taught to others. For when you are hip hop, you feel hip hop. And it is through the feelings and emotions, the heart, that hip hop's inner secrets are revealed. Studying hip hop, debating hip hop, and writing about hip hop are like observing a fashionable suit in the window of a clothing store. While doing hip hop, being hip hop, and living hip hop are like putting the suit on and walking around town. There is simply no comparison. And this is what we call real hip hop. That's capital HIP, capital HOP. Verse 4, a real hip hopper believes, be and lives, right? Believes, be and lives hip hop. For it is wise for a real chef to believe in the reality of cooking, and to a real doctor to believe in and live from the reality of medicine, and a real Christian to believe and live in Christ as example. Therefore, it is not equally wise for real hip hoppers to believe and live in hip hop. Therefore, it is not equally wise for real hip hoppers to believe and live in hip hop. On the other hand, why participate in something you really do not fully be or live in? Real, quote unquote, relates to fixed or immovable things like land. Like land. When hip hop is real to you, when it is fixed and immovable from your being, you are practicing real hip hop. When something is real, it is considered to be genuine or authentic. It is what it proposes to be. It is not imaginary. It is actually existing and occurring to our physical senses. The term real hip hop relates to the fixed conditions and genuine nature of hip hop as it appears to our physical senses today. Real hip hop, y'all. Oh, I see. Not focus on me. Focus on the word. let me go ahead and just make some comments real quick. The gospel of hip hop. Yes, boom. Okay, cool. There we are. When it is real, it is considered to be genuine. Okay, so it's actually existing and occurring to our physical senses. The term real hip hop, quote unquote, relates to the fixed conditions and genuine nature of hip hop as it appears to our physical senses today. Breaking, MCing, graffiti art, DJing, beatboxing, street fashion, street language, street knowledge, and street entrepreneurialism are all fixed conditions of hip hop. These elements are permanent and immovable from the existence of hip hop. These elements are real hip hop, and those who promote and preserve these elements promote and preserve real hip hop. So the culture, y'all. When these elements are not present in one's self-expression, one is not doing or being real hip hop. The true hip hop scholar apprentice is studying to become hip hop, not to just observe hip hop. How can anyone claim any authentic scholarship on something that they themselves are not and equally cannot do? When there is, where then is your authority to teach? Our perspective on hip hop and its culture is not an objective one. We love hip hop, we live hip hop, and we are real hip hop. However, it should clearly be understood that even though we place great emphasis upon the mastery of one or more hip hop's real elements, I must confess here as well that it really is one's love for and loyalty to hip hop that rests at the fundamental foundation of hip hop scholarship and citizenry. For there are those who have mastered hip hop's real elements, but have yet to truly love and care for hip hop itself and its future development. For there are those who rap, break, DJ, piece, tag, and beatbox very well, but still find it difficult to consider the real lives of those who are influenced by them artistically and culturally. Many have mastered hip hop's artistic elements, but only a few have mastered themselves. Many who have mastered hip hop's artistic elements still find it difficult to contribute even toward hip hop's artistic preservation. However, other hip hoppers have not mastered any of hip hop's artistic elements, but the passion and loyalty that they have brought to hip hop, their very contributions to the understanding of hip hop, in many ways are more substantial than even the contributions of those who have mastered hip hop's artistic elements. For it is one's love for hip hop that truly makes one a hip hop scholar and citizen. And your love is proven within your commitment, your works, and your sacrifices. It is through your works, it is through your works, your words and actions that your true love is revealed. It is through your sacrifices that your true nature is revealed. The nature or name of your true self is revealed within the creation and expression of your true self, which requires a real commitment toward the building of your true self. Not the role that you may model, but your authentic self. This is what most of humanity has had taken away. Our true nature, which gives all people the ability to govern themselves. This is what we are missing. Knowledge of ourselves. Without such knowledge, we have no way of controlling and or directing ourselves. By not speaking our ancient native languages, by not eating our native foods or dressing in our native clothing or playing our native games or hearing ancient stories that pertain to us and in our circumstances, combined with no clear and definitive ancient humanity, the awareness of our true names. However, we are gods. And the absence of such self-knowledge is actually the trigger that sets the universe in motion towards self-knowledge. Mastery, not ignorance, is indeed the greatest motivator toward knowledge. As it turns out, not totally knowing our ancestral past has created the possibility of starting a new and even brighter future. We can create and recreate ourselves right now. Not knowing is what causes one to know. And so the same force that built our civilizations 10,000 years ago, seeking, searching, discovering, not knowing, is the same force that has given life to hip hop today. This is one reason why the whole world understands our cultural language. We are the return of the original human spark that caused all great civilizations to exist. This instrument establishes the existence and preservation of our hip hop community. Our truth is self-evident. We must first believe that we exist, and then we must perceive the powers of our own existence. This instrument, the gospel of hip hop, begins the creation of hip hop's faith in itself and its powers. Our first truth must be an awareness of our own reality as hip hoppers. We must first believe that we exist if we are to develop ourselves into a strong hip hop community capable of raising our collective quality of life. This is real spill right here, y'all. Let's get it. Right? Again, we're reading from the Gospel of Hip Hop, the first instrument presented by none other than KRS-One for the Temple of Hip Hop. If you're just tuning in or just getting noticed, or what have you. And right now we're on page 61, where verse, I believe that was just verse 15, 16. Let's see. Okay, now we're reading, we're going to start at verse 18. So we just read verse 1 through 18. It starts on page 58, and it's called The First Overstep, and it's on the subject matter of real hip hop. Yeah. So, let me get some water. Well, it's 1:51 Pacific time on 5/11/2019. Again, that's a lot of ones. And some fives in there. A couple of them anyway. That means things are aligned and in sync. Yep. So we're going to get back into it. Verse 18, page 61. Only we can do this for ourselves. No one else is responsible for us and our spiritual cultural development. We must align our collective thoughts and actions as hip hoppers with what we know to be real for us in the material world. We must see the physical results of that which we claim to spiritually believe. Otherwise, we are living in denial and fantasy as others do. Hip hop is made up of real people and real events. Real spill. We must explore the facts of our experiences as hip hoppers in search of achieving the truth about ourselves as hip hoppers. We must finally mature to the faith of confirming our own spiritual reality as hip hoppers. This is what KRS-One really means to hip hop. I am the actual historical evidence that hip hop was conscious of itself in its early days. I am not the only one of my time. Verse 21. We practice real hip hop. We practice the immovable and fixed conditions of the hip hop spirit. Whether hip hop is accepted or not by those of the corporate mainstream is irrelevant. Real hip hop was come to hip hop with no other interest but to authentically manifest it. This is real hip hop. I am hip hop. And upon this evidence, our culture is born. Hip hop's culture now exists factually as a real divinely guided community because you and KRS exist as its first citizens. Our unity declares the reality of hip hop. And because we willing choose to and because we willing choose to fix ourselves to the spirit of hip hop and not move from it. It is a fact when we say the real hip hop is over here. We make hip hop real by authentically being it. This is real hip hop. And this gospel is presented by some real hip hoppers. As I do say so myself, I am hip hop. And upon this faith, our belief in ourselves as hip hoppers, we can achieve truth. Through hip hop, we have a paradigm by which to create ourselves and document our own body of hip hop knowledge and history. Our faith in ourselves as a community of conscious hip hoppers is what we call hip hop's culture or hip hop culture. Unfortunately, people today have grown accustomed to equating rap music and images portrayed in mainstream rap music videos with the whole of hip hop's culture and history. And this is why we say that such material is not real hip hop. It is not authentic to the original hip hop spirit or tradition and does not represent what is actually occurring to our physical senses in the present. Most of the mainstream rap videos of my time are imaginary tales of crime, sex, and street adventure. They are good, they are entertaining, but they are not quote unquote real. Okay? Real hip hop is our graphic that hip hop and rap music, HOP, is the name of our culture and activities. With this original cultural learning system, the real nature of hip hop beyond the average mainstream understanding of hip hop. Here, we introduce a hip hop spiritual code of conduct capable of producing enhanced states of health, love, awareness, and wealth for those engaged in the mastery of hip hop's real elements. This is the gospel, and this is what really works for hip hoppers. Here, hip hop's real elements can be pursued and developed in any way that one feels. However, hip hop, capital HIP, lowercase HOP, is a specific term that deals with the spiritual nature of hip hop, capital HIP, capital HOP. Study this paragraph and the above terms carefully before going forward. Remember, the Gospel of Hip Hop is the instructional book, and the Gospel of Hip Hop is a spiritually lived hip hop life. capital HIP, lowercase HOP. This instrument is called the Gospel of Hip Hop, capital letters, because hip hop, capital letters, is commonly spelled as such among the hip hop populace today. However, we teach hip hop, capital HIP, lowercase HOP, hip hop, capital HIP, capital HOP, and hip hop, lowercase HIP, lowercase HOP, so that our discoveries regarding the spiritual nature of hip hop do not contradict or hinder the free study of others seeking to uncover the nature of hip hop for themselves. We hold no monopoly or on the interpretation of the nature of hip hop, spiritual or otherwise. Our understandings and approaches to hip hop are unique to our Hip Hop Preservation Society. These are our discoveries and notes, and no one is obligated to believe or acknowledge that which we believe and acknowledge as the truth for us. This gospel is what we know successfully works for those practicing hip hop, capital HIP, capital HOP. And this is what we teach. We are called hip hoppers and not hip hopers or hip hoppers because we actually practice capital HIP, lowercase HOP, hip hop, which for us is the spiritual living of hip hop, all caps, which is the culture. Verse 33. Our community is called hip hop culture and not hip hop culture, lowercase. Although we do sometimes spell the name of our community as all caps hip hop culture, and it is hip hop's culture that we are actually referring to. For a clear, deeper understanding of what is being taught throughout this instrument, you will have to train your eye to recognize the spellings and meanings of hip hop, and hip hop. Our approach to hip hop is indeed unique in our time. We teach that rap, rhythmic speech, is but one expression that comes out of the total hip hop experience. For us, hip hop is a combination of breaking, MCing, graffiti art, DJing, beatboxing, street fashion, street language, street knowledge, and street entrepreneurialism. For us, hip hop is the amplification of human expression and awareness. At its core, hip hop is not just an art form. It is a pursuit of one's authentic being through the arts. For those who consider themselves true hip hop scholars, hip hop is defined as the artistic response to oppression, a way of expression in dance, music, word, and song. A culture that thrives on creativity and nostalgia. As a musical art form, it is the stories of the inner city life, often with a message, spoken over beats of music. The culture includes rap and any other venture spawned from the hip-hop lifestyle and culture. Alonzo Westbrook, Hip Hoptionary, the Dictionary of Hip-Hop Terminology. Let's end it right there. We're going to end at verse 35. I've been going for a while. And this beat is smacking. Shout out to the DJ, beatmaker, musician, producer who did this. It's called So Special Beats. Yeah, check them out. So Special Beats. It's a free type beat, 2019. Rick Ross featuring Jay-Z type beat, quote, gospel. So see how we in line? I didn't even know that. This is called gospel. I'm not looking at any of this. I'm reading the literature here and soaking it in myself as we just go through it together and really build on this life and this lifestyle. As I, go up in the ranks and hopes in the ranks of my own scholarship and in hip hop, because there's always ways and reasons to learn. And I just want to teach this as a modality of healing, as a modality of like truly, like Nipsey inspired us all, right? Like he said he wanted to be himself, he didn't want to compromise that, and we don't. In hip hop, you don't have to compromise any of that. You don't. I stopped at verse 35. Okay. We don't have to compromise any of that. And sometimes going in this world and moving along in this world, we feel as if we have to, or we feel like our backs up against the wall because we got to work or we got to, do this or that and the third. You know what I'm saying? But you can live hip hop. You can be hip hop, be yourself, no matter what people say. You just can't seek their approval. You got to do you and be you. We got to be us. Let me speak for me. I got to be me and do me and be excited about that and just be happy about being me. And it's okay. Even when people think down on you or speak ill of you because they're like, well, don't just speak English already. I mean, come on. Just say it's a correct, quote unquote, way. Or just think of it this way. Like, get out of hip hop already. Come on. Right? And it's just an interesting thing and how that all pans out. But I'm gonna keep this going. I like this track. So I'm gonna keep this joint going because it ends on a song called Gospel, and it's just funny. Not funny, but peculiar and aligned. Like, you see how we just align like that? We aligned all these ones and all these fives, start time and the end time. It's 2:05 on 5/11 on Eastern time. I mean in Pacific time. So yeah. Hopefully y'all gave y'all food to the mailman today, because it was like feed, stomp out hunger. That's what it is. The second Saturday in May, when they leave the little bags and you fill up a bag of food and then they take it so they can feed people. I took a couple photos of my stuff, but it's not about that. I'll post it. So hopefully everybody participates today. It's another way of just giving to others. So yeah, so when we think about gospel meaning good news. Gospel meaning good news. I mean, this is good news for us. What's good news for us is that we can be our authentic self, and actually that's what this gospel calls you to do and be. Right? But that's going to cause you to get in touch with who that is. This is calling you and I higher. We are being called so much higher in this life, in this world right now. The world is looking at hip hop like, okay, what y'all about to do with this? Y'all about to get this gang thing cracking again? How long is this peace thing gonna last? Or how long is this stuff gonna last? Like, how long are we gonna have to put up with the ills of hip hop? Seeing with your pants sagging, and you're on flights and you're first class and you're sitting next to me and this guy, like, we know how it is. We know what that feels like, to feel like an anomaly. But if we just all come from out of those, open the blinds and the shutters, let the light in, and be who you naturally are. Now that's gonna mean that somebody's being themselves and you may not like it. They may not like you being yourself. But it's about coexistence, people. We must coexist. And let's do more than that. Let's love on each other. Let's send out good vibrations. Yeah, it's going to be off at times. But if your intention is to send these good feelings out, these good things out, then it's inevitable. It'll go out. Just keep self-correcting and as much as possible. And that means and be humble, because when people bring things to your attention, that's how you're coming across. Maybe just for that moment, maybe in life. But just look at that and go, you know what? That's where I should have just, you're right. Thank you for that. Thank you for your feedback. And that's in praise or criticism. Thank you for your feedback. But you can still be your authentic self. And I think that is a major issue of our time. People want to control how other people show up in the world, and you can't do that. You have to allow people to be themselves. But we've been so caught up in this a religion, the religare, right? The religion, this taught thing, this energy that is not from God, that is not from goodness, that is not from naturally from the universe. It's an internal hate that is taught. It's it's a deep hate. It's a superiority type thing, and we cutting all that out, cutting all that down, doing something different. We are hip hop. We are hip hop. We are hip hop. Ashe, Ashe, and Ashe. Give thanks to the Most High. Give thanks to you for listening. Give thanks for us for healing together, having this talk, this dialogue. Please hit us up if you want to support as hashtag Hope the number 4 hip hop. That's Hope the number 4 hip hop. We do hope to present other things and platforms. We're gonna start this stuff up, this blogs and everything like that. So just keep following, keep loving us, keep sharing. We're sending out good love and energy. Ashe, Ashe, and I give thanks. Peace and blessings to everybody.